start doing tricky stuff. Okay, this is tricky. It takes some time, but we can all understand this. So let's go through the information they give you. They give you the volume of the moon. Okay, so let's talk about the volume of the moon is equal to this expression, 4/3 pi, and then they have this parentheses here, which helps us out, 12 cubed cubed. And then they tell us that the volume of the Earth. So immediately I write down these two things. I write down these two expressions, or these two equations, I should say. 4/3 pi 16 times 20 squared cubed. And now it gives us this weird piece of information that we really got to take our time with. We really need to reread this over and over and over. This third sentence that I've bracketed off in orange. This third sentence is very difficult to understand. It is not something that will be immediately understood upon your first time reading it. And once it is that you don't understand it, you need to reread it. So we need to just sit here and let's read it once. The radius of the Earth is this weird thing, u over 27 times as long as the radius of the moon. Break this apart. So the first thing, right, let's break it apart. The radius of the Earth. Let's denote that with a symbol. Let's say R, E. The radius of the Earth. Let's actually write it E, R, radius of Earth. Is, so now is, we can interpret as equals. Equals. Now this whole thing, call it whatever you like. U over 27 looks hideous. Looks absolutely hideous. Let's say it was 4, right? Let's say this instead of U over 27, just forget it. Let's say it was 4. 4 times as long, and then it would be 4 here, times the radius of the moon, and then you'd put the radius of the moon here, our moon. If it were 5 here, then you would put 5 times the radius. But in this case, it's U over 27, this ugly looking thing. So instead of that, I'm going to say that it's U over 27 times. Times means to multiply. Times means to multiply. Times. As long as the radius of the moon. And I'm going to put radius of the moon right here. And now I have these 3 pieces of information, and then what is it that I want at the end of the day? This ugly thing, u, this value, u. I have no idea. What is this value, u? This is what I want. Okay, that's what I want at the end of this. So, okay, whoa. I have no idea how to do this. What's going on here? Okay, well, first, go back now. So I wrote down these pieces of information. It says the volume of the moon. Because if I have the radius of the moon and the radius of the Earth, can I solve for u? Yes. So all I need to investigate now is I need to look for radius of moon and radius of Earth. Can I get that using the volume of the moon and the volume of the Earth? Well, yes, because we just need to apply that they're both spheres. And the volume of a sphere is always 4/3 pi r, whatever the radius is, r cubed. And if you look, they do this right away, so it saves you time. They have it already in this expression. So the volume of the moon, instead of me sitting here and solving for r, I know the volume of the moon, I could set this whole thing equal on this side. I could put, instead of writing the volume of the moon over here, I could put it over here, equals. And I could put it over here, and I could solve for r. And what I'd get is this, but you should see that in the expression for the volume, the only thing, what takes the role of r here? This is the radius of the moon, right there, that 12 cubed is the radius of the moon. So I could write, instead of writing radius of the moon, I could write that 12 cubed right here. U over 27 equals, and then the radius of the Earth. This takes the role of r now, this expression on the inside, because it's being cubed. Look, going up, you should see that what takes the role of this r is this inner value, because this is the volume of a sphere, and they have the volume of the Earth written out in that formula, where r is right here. So the radius of the Earth is going to be 16 times 20 squared. And now your last task, once you have this equation, once you've realized all of this tricky nonsense, okay, is that you need to solve for u. So in order to solve for u, what you do is you got to get it by itself. Remember that this is 12 cubed over 1, right? So what do you want to get rid of? It's up to you. You can get rid of the 27 by multiplying by 27 on both sides. Because 27 divided by 27 is 1. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. So I get 27 times 16 times 20 squared is equal to 12, or u times 12 cubed. My last step, I divide by 12 cubed. And I get some value for u. Use your calculator if need be. U equals this number right here. Okay, 27 times 16 times 20 times 20 divided by 12 cubed is 100. 100.